We are officially live. Welcome everybody to the Friday Live, brought to you by the Hood. This is our Friday show. We come on and talk about whatever we want to talk about. What's going on in the world? My name is Jimmy, joined by my brother Corey. As always, Corey, what's up, good brother? Yeah, can you hear me, man? You all right? You good over there?
Yeah. I dropped my phone and I was trying to fix it.
Yeah, man. Hope you ain't distracted. Hope you ain't crack your screen and all that. Yo, we got folks here live with us already, man. Please let me know who's here, man. I see y'all coming into the room, so as you come in the room, please let me know who's here. You know what I'm saying? Everything good, bro?
Yeah. I dropped my phone. That joint was acting crazy. Like, yeah, it was acting crazy. Anyway,
Is it cracked or you good?
Oh, that joint cracked in 1,000 different places, but
yeah, people, I don't understand y'all folks with cracked phones, man. I can't deal with that, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be walking around with all kinds of crazy.
It's not cracked on the part where I use it, so it's cracked on the back where I don't care. Like the screen not cracked, so I don't care.
Man, y'all gotta start protecting y'all phones, man. Like put some cases.
I had a phone protector, but it got the first place it got cracked is I had it in my phone protector. I got out my car and it fell out my pocket, and my screen protector broke and it chipped the side of my phone.
Yeah, man, y'all be out here raw dog, man, raw dog with the phones, man. Y'all gotta
chill. My phone been raw dog in my pocket for the last like year and a half since that happened.
I don't play about that. I'm a fan of UAG. For those folks into the tech, that's what I use. But yo, we got some folks here already. Don is in the building. What's up, Don? How are you, good brother? You know what I'm saying? Jamil, Detroit's in the building. What up, though? You know what I'm saying? Michelle's in the building. Hey, Michelle, man, listen, I owe you a phone. I know I keep saying that, man. I got so much going on, but I need to get with you anyway because I need to pick your brain about something else. I don't know if you're free after I get off the show. I might try to call you this evening if you don't mind. But you know, it is what it is. Lorraine is in the building. What's up, Lorraine? Kate Diggy is here. Salutations. What's good? What's good, fam? Appreciate you, Kate Diggy, man. Our folks are pulling up, man. If you are listening to the audio of this, we appreciate that as well. You know, we are here on Friday. We're going to talk a little bit about a couple topics, do our giveaway, and get out of here, man. So let's see what Jamil said. Got to go with them budget phones. That plastic don't break. No, man. I'm actually waiting for my I'm drawing. So I got my S24 Ultra. You know what I'm saying? You see a little orange on the back. You know what I mean? A little Bitcoin orange on the back and all that. But as you see, my case, man. And this is not sponsored, by the way. I'm a fan of UAG, man. These cases don't add no bulk at all, and they protection. And then my iPhone. I'm actually waiting on my 16 Apple. FOH to Apple too, man. I'm gonna tell you why I say FOH to Apple in a minute because I ordered the 16 and didn't get here yet. But this is also a UAG case. You know what I'm saying? So my phone stay protected. So I ordered on like the day that phone actually got released, and it told me my order was on like it was a shipping delay or something. But I was reading the article. I've been reading the article, and they was talking about how Apple be intentionally messing with the shipping dates and stuff. To kind of build like somewhat of like a demand for their phones by not making them available. They do it intentionally. So to that I say FOH. All right, Michelle, do me a favor if you can, good brother. I mean, if you can, shoot me an inbox now. Give me a number. I got a number written, but if you send me in the inbox right now, as soon as I get off here, I'm gonna hit you up. Cash money. What's good? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Brittany's also here. Good evening to you, Brittany, as well. Yes. Camille says AO3s, A23s, 5G. All right, I already know what that is, man. You know, you on your Android thing. I see you. You know what I mean? Accordo, man. A couple things, man. I'm not sure whether you was in the market at all this week, man. Did you do any trading? Anything important happened to you this week that you want to talk about? That the kids drive you crazy?
In the market, no. I've actually been. I'm in the same long-term trades I've been in. I haven't even looked at them joints because they out in 2025, past 2025. They had they from March 2025, so I'm probably don't them joints till January.
Okay, all right, that's what's up. By the way, there's Cookie under the moniker Cash Money. What's up, Cookie? How are you?
Yeah, so man, I ain't really even look at the market. Because I already know what's popping. You know what I mean? Like the we about to get some monetary easing. You know, I follow the market news. We about to get some monetary easing over in China, which is going to pop the markets because anytime money run flush into the market, it popped the market. You know what I mean? So if they do the quantitative easing over there, the whole market going to jump. So
that's what's up, man. Rich is in the building. What's up, Rich? Rich, man, I appreciate you sharing you know, the stack sats and, you know, and all that. I appreciate you you know, supporting the show and sharing and whatnot. Yo, we got to talk about what's going on in the U.S. economy, man. I was reading an article in the Financial Times, so I will be sharing that in a second. We're going to go over that article, which is really talking about the jobs report that came out. You know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. So Jamil says, how do we access the mystery shopping and Bitcoin classes that were in the MDC? All right, so great question, and I'm glad you asked. Me and Corey are going to do our kind of like our a variation of that. It's not necessarily going to be the same as the MDC. It'll be something different, and we're working on that right now behind the scenes to put that there to make sure everybody has access to that. So you will be hearing about that within the next 2 weeks. I was working on it actually before I came on here, but it's a lot. So I'm looking for a place to kind of house everything. I was looking at YouTube memberships, but that's just, it's man. So I was looking at Patreon, which still might be a possibility. I'm looking for a place that I can house all those things, make it available to folks, and do it in a way where, you know, you don't necessarily have to pay too much to get access to it. So we're working on that now. So Jamil, I will keep you posted on that. You are not the only person to ask me. People are like, yo, y'all ain't charged me this month. I'm like, but it's funny because people have literally asked me like, yo, I didn't get charged. I'm like, I showed you how much you've been paying attention, because that means that you're okay with paying without even like showing up. But you know, it is what it is. Anyway, man. Yeah, but shout out to Rich and there's a couple other folks, man. Ross showed love. Got plenty of love on the last Stack Sats episode. I've been in my bag lately. Ray Gunn, what's good, Ray? Listen, man, I gotta show Ray love, man. Torian, what's up, Torian? Because he always comes to super chat and it's definitely appreciated. You know what I'm saying? Any money we get in the super chat goes right back out to the community. You know how we do. We do giveaways every Friday. So, but the super chat is appreciated, Ray, as always, man. Thanks for that. Torian, what's up with you though? We good, man. We maintaining, you know, we staying out the way, you know, staying sucker free, as they say. Shout out to my brother Kamari. You know what I mean? I know I'm doing my shout outs like this is a Tribe Called Quest album from 91. Remember how every song used to go off chord and you had to give your shout outs?
Peace to Shaheed Shakur.
Yeah.
Like, peace to Ali Shaheed Muhammad. Like, yo, dog, like, damn. I'm like, how many people you know? I gotta get a shout.
Every single song, bro. Every single song. Whether it was at the beginning of the song, you at the end,
like you could have shot them out on all on one song. Everybody got to give a shout out on a different song. Like
rhyme, a fact. Shy, anyway, so you know, but I like to show love to everybody that show love to us, man. Dewan says more brothers need to get their hands on BTC. Hey, listen, man, you are preaching to the choir. I agree. I feel like by the time people wake up to what's really going on, you know, we're gonna be behind like we are with everything else. That's why I make it my business to talk about it all day long, man. So I saw someone post a meme today. It was like Bitcoin is the opposite of Fight Club. Like once you understand Bitcoin, you talk about it all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's literally the opposite. So, you know, I'm making my business now. And now I'm moving into space now, man, where I'm really understanding the parallels between BTC and real estate. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, check out the latest episode of Stack Sats Without Trying. You know, I gave away like all sorts of game on that joint, man. I was really in my bag, but you know, sometimes it takes for certain people to talk about it. You know what I mean? Larry Fink, you see him pull up, and then everybody, you know, like Rich says, Larry need to rock. Oh, he's talking about Larry. Yeah, the shout outs. Yeah. So I thought he was talking about what I said, but no, he's talking about the shout outs. But still though, Larry Fink's on board now. Jamie Dimon to be coming. That's how it works, man. Bitcoin don't care what you feel about it. It's going to do what it's got to do. Torian says, I feel you, fam. Same here. Moving different out here. That's how you got to do, man. You know, it's those times out here, man. We are getting ready to talk about the article that I want to talk about. But yeah, man, Dewan done set me off. I was getting ready to go on a tirade, but I'm gonna chill and make sure and I can get to this article. Or let me know when you can see the article on the screen from the Financial Times. All right, I see it. Let me see. You good, Cork? You see it?
I can see it. Yeah, it's kind of small, but I can see it.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So let me read this article real fast. Little parts of this article. For those that are listening, I'll read the article so you can get an idea. I'm not going to read the full article, but you'll get the gist of what I'm saying. It's from the Financial Times. Shout out to the Financial Times, man. I remember when I was an undergrad student and I discovered the Financial Times, and I used to like try to buy that because back in the day, that's how old I am, y'all. When I was in school, our finance professors used to make us pick like a paper to read, and we would have to bring articles into the classroom to discuss because we had physical papers back then. And I used to mess with the Financial Times just because it was discolored, and I like how they kept that discoloration like on their website and all that. But that's a side note. Shout out to all old finance professors. U.S. economy smashes expectations with 254,000 jobs added in September. So they're looking at the jobs report and what happened in September. It says this figure prompt traders to increase bets Federal Reserve will slow pace of interest rate cuts. 254,000. 254 is a powerful number, but if you know, you know. So it says the figure from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics was above the expectations of economists polled by Reuters of 140,000 and compared with an upwardly revised gain of 159,000. So it kind of smashed it. The unemployment rate fell from 4.1%, having come close to a 3-year high in July at 4.3%. The report suggests the Fed is on course to pull off a so-called soft landing for the economy, which has weathered the worst period of high inflation in a generation while maintaining robust growth and strong employment. The resilience of the labor market is also likely to be seized upon by Vice President Kamala Harris, who is neck and neck in opinion polls with Donald Trump ahead of the election. The data is good news for American workers and families, is what Sleepy Joe said. The Fed last month cut its benchmark interest rate by a half percentage point to preempt any significant weakening of the labor market. After Friday's data release, investors in futures markets scaled back predictions that the Fed will cut interest rates by another half percentage point at its next policy meeting, which happens in November. So I say all that to say this. They're trying to paint this picture that the economy is doing very well. So it says Treasury yields jumped shortly after the data was published. The 2-year Treasury yield, which is sensitive to interest rate expectations, rose about 0.17 percentage points to a 1-month high of 3.88%. The S&P 500 was up 0.4%. The dollar climbed 0.5%. So, the market did what the market does at times. The market likes cuts, but it doesn't like them if they're because of real weakness in the economy and worries about a recession, Hurt said. It's like cuts with a positive underlying economy, which would bolster the soft landing scenario. So, you figure out based upon what I said thus far, what they're trying to do. It also says average hourly earnings increased 0.4% for the month and are up 4% on an annual basis. All right, let me stop right there for a second. I'm going to get back to the article, but how many of you guys think that the cost of living is up 4% on an annual basis? But I digress.
That's malarkey.
But that's what the earnings have went up 4%. I just want to know if we're keeping pace with inflation, but I digress. U.S. central bank officials are focused on the health of the labor market as they plan further interest rate cuts in the coming months after making a larger than usual half-point reduction in September. The cut left Fed's benchmark rate at 4.75 to 5%. Jay Powell, I'll jump off Jay Powell. He hinted this week that the central bank will revert to its more usual quarter-point cut when it meets in November, just after the U.S. presidential election. Now, is that intentional as well? All right, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to read between the lines, y'all. Officials have grown more confident in their ability to bring price pressures back down to the Fed's 2% target without triggering a recession. That's also comical. I'm going to stop right here for a second. It says officials have grown more confident in their ability to bring price pressures back down to the Fed's 2% target. So the Fed has a 2% target. When have we ever got 2%, y'all? Anyway.
February. Like, no, I'm not going to say February.
I'm going to stop right there, right? Because
we had 2% inflation probably for like 6 weeks. I'm gonna say during COVID for about 6 weeks when the prices of everything fell off a cliff because nobody was out there to buy it. So
I don't have the time this evening to kind of break down what goes into how they gauge inflation, because I want to actually have like some charts and things to kind of break that down. I want to have time and some charts to break that down. But even the way that they gauge inflation is problematic, in my opinion. And the average consumer can feel inflation, and that's the thing about it, right? Numbers are one thing. Numbers are one thing, but you need the combination of numbers and people that, for lack of a better term, have their boots on the ground and understand the pain, whether that's at the pump, at the grocery store, whatever it may be, to really talk about how things are doing outside of just looking at numbers, right? Because numbers lie. I don't care what no one tells you, right? People say, well, numbers don't lie. No, numbers do lie, right?
No,
Because
numbers tell the story of the person who owns them. Like the numbers tell the story of whatever. Like, if you think numbers don't lie, look at the sheets of these companies that's out here. Them numbers lie like a mug. Like numbers don't lie.
I'm not even talking about like just blatant lies. I'm talking about the idea of when someone is telling a narrative, right? You can use numbers to kind of like, prove your point, but sometimes you have to look into that. And you have to look at where the numbers actually come from, and look at the desires of the people that create the numbers. So what I'm saying is, it's one thing to use the numbers to try to paint this rosy picture, because I came across a couple articles after I read this article in the Financial Times, and they're painting the picture that as if like things are great, but I'm outside every day. I'm showing houses. I'm, with the people, and I know how people are doing. It's funny because I was talking to my real estate partner yesterday, and he was talking about like some of the programs that both of the candidates had talked about for small business, and he was saying that some of that stuff sounds cool, but people don't even have access to capital to get in business right now. And sometimes I think there's like a disconnect between what's really going on in the real world versus what some of the data says, because data can be manipulated, or the narrative around that data can be told a certain way and it's not painting the proper picture. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say, Corey. Not necessarily just lying about your numbers, because that happens too, but you're painting the picture one way when that's not what's really happening out there, man. Let's get to some of these comments. I know you have some thoughts, Corey, while I pull the comments up.
Yep. So yeah, like numbers always been sketchy, right? Because the numbers are controlled by somebody. So anything that touches human hands is faulty, because we're faulty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not even, the numbers always the numbers always tell, they say men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't lie. That's malarkey.
That's a lie.
Yeah, because the numbers are controlled by men and women. Now there are some numbers that don't lie, like
Well, this is why analysis is important, right? Because data itself sometimes is objective, but what's the analysis of said data, right? Me and you could look at the same data set. You can come to one conclusion, I can come to another conclusion, but we're looking at the same data set.
Yep, same numbers.
Yeah. So, but real quick, Lorraine says, did you say 0.4% for wages, not 4%? I want to make sure I make that clear. The average hourly earnings are 0.4%, and 4% is for the year, on an annual basis. So 0.4% from an hour standpoint, and 4% on an annual basis. So what goes into the cost of living calculation? That's a great question, Ray. We're gonna break that down probably in a further. But I want to go into the cost of living versus the inflation numbers and what goes into making them up. But what I'll tell you is the cost of living, the actual cost of living, is never reflected in numbers that's put out there. And again, this goes to my point of actually talking to the people, right? This is why data has always been interesting to me, because things are objective, but again, like I said before, who's telling the story and how they're telling it is really important, and you have to have people with experience in terms of what they're talking about. It's like some data scientists will jump all around. They feel like if you give them numbers, they can crunch the numbers and tell you what the numbers mean. But for instance, I work as a data scientist in real estate. If you give me a data set, I probably can crunch the numbers, but I would never go to talk about, let's just say, the murder rate, because I can tell you objectively what it is, but I can't do the analysis because I'm not a criminologist. You need people that understand whatever it is you're talking about. Erica's in the building, the legend. What's up, Erica? How are you? You know what I'm saying?
What's going on, Erica? How you doing?
So Erica, who my fellow Philadelphian, I'll say she's a she she got an invite to be a Philadelphian. But Erica says we've been in a recession since October 2023. Hey, listen, they try to deny it. You know what I mean? They try to prop up the economy, but not talking about that. But I've heard people say October. Some people say June of 2023. But I'm not disagreeing with you. Majority of folks looking for work ain't even counted, and that's the other part. They don't. If they talk about people that are actually looking for work, but what determines if I'm looking for work or not? And what does it even mean to look for work in 2024? I was telling my mother-in-law this. She was getting on like one of my nephews, right? Because she's like, you need to get a job, you need to go pound the pavement and knock on these doors. I was like, it's 2024. Yeah. Main man need to get on a laptop. Yeah. I was like, what year are you in? Talking about pound the pavement. What we talking about? Like, anyway.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. But the point is though, you're right about that, Erica. Like they say that they talk about people that are looking for jobs. What does that even mean? The government says crime is down, but Chicago, Los Angeles, New York wasn't even included in the report they put out. That's a little comical.
How you not going to include the 3 of the 4 largest cities in the country?
Hold up, those are the 3, right? Those are the top 3. Because the top five is New York, LA, Chicago. Then I think it's
San Antonio and Houston.
No, it's Phoenix, Houston, and then Philly.
Phoenix.
So, but I
think San Antonio passed up.
No, they didn't. Well, not last time I saw.
Either way, so in that somewhere in there.
Let's see, top 10 cities in U.S. Let's see. I just want to see what the top 10 are because I didn't think San Antonio was even. No, San Antonio is not. It's New York, LA, Chicago, which are the top 3. Houston is 4 now. They passed Phoenix. Phoenix is 5. Philly is 6. San Antonio, San Diego, Dallas, San Jose, Austin, Jacksonville, Fort Worth, Columbus, Charlotte, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, and then Nashville. But anyway, those are the top 3, by the way. So how do you talk about crime being down and not include the top 3 cities in our country?
When you talk about this country has 350 million people. You talking about 3 cities with 70 million people. You talking about a third of the country didn't even get counted.
Now, I guess if you put the article out,
if you talk about New York and LA got 50 million people by themselves, and Chicago probably got another 20. So you talk about 70 million people that didn't even get. You talking about a third of the country didn't even get counted.
Chicago is a wild city, right? Because Chicago, I love Chicago, right? Because Chicago is such a big city, and people don't even understand how big like Cook County is. Chicago is so big, but it's similar to Philadelphia, but I think it's even crazier than Philadelphia. Like, so we was talking about Philadelphia being a city of have and have-nots. There are a lot of people doing well in Philadelphia, but there's a huge amount of poverty. But Chicago is like you go to certain parts of Chicago and you don't even recognize that you're in the same place. Like first of all, downtown in Chicago might be one of the top 3 downtowns I've ever been in my life. Up there with like Toronto, possibly, and what else? I mean, New York, depending upon how you feel about New York. Some people can't stand the congestion. But here's what I'm saying about Chicago. Chicago is like a tale of 2 cities, literally. When you're in certain parts of Chicago and then you go to the more poverty-stricken parts, it's like, how are these even in the same county? But they are. What does that say about the politics? I don't know. I'm not getting into that. But that's a great point that Erica brought up. How can you talk about the crime rate and not include the 3 largest cities in the United States of America? Lorraine says the numbers, data, is like the Bible. You can find scripture to fit your narrative. The KKK is based on the Bible. Ooh. Lorraine dropping bars tonight. That is absolutely true. We've seen a lot of evil things done in the name of religion, the Bible, whatever book you want to put it, but we've seen a lot of beautiful things happen too. I'm not a religious person per se, but I see the dichotomy in what happens when people use the Bible, for example, for good and evil. So I guess the Bible is it's like electricity. It's a tool, right? Yeah, it can give you light or it could burn something down. The shadow stats give a fair estimate of inflation. Great question. I can't say definitively yes or no. But what I will say is when you're looking at data sets, figure out where it comes from. That's the only thing I'm going to say is figure out where it comes from. a lot of these research are paid research by certain institutions that have an agenda. So that's all I'm gonna say that about that. Look at all the syndication that are losing apartment complex in Texas and Florida right now. Big name folks. Yeah, I've read about that. I read about that. Like, I read about a lot of doctors and dentists and lawyers who were like doing syndication that were just getting cooked right now. Crazy, man. Like, absolutely insane. Noble, what's good, Noble? How are you? That's not true. K Diggy, what part is not true? Jose's in the building. BX, peace, Jose. How are you? The state cities that didn't respond to the reports committee in time to be included. Ah, okay. So they gave him a chance to respond. Jose says, don't forget to smash the like, love button as you come in. Jose, I appreciate that. You know, definitely smash the like and love button as you come in. Michelle says, remember, Chicago is a Republican talking point. It never cracks the top 20 for dangerous cities. What about Chicago? It's also per capita. Chicago is also so big that, again, this is how you play with data.
The amount of crime fits the size of the city.
Well, that's the thing. It's how you play with data. So depending upon what story you want to tell, you can tell two different stories about Chicago, right? If you want to talk about per capita or you want to talk about just the number overall. Here's the thing about like crime statistics. I mean, because murder is terrible no matter if it's 1 or it's 1 million, right? Murder is murder, in my opinion at least, right? And we should be working towards like stopping it no matter what the number is, right? Now, sometimes things do get out of hand, but there's always context and stories and things that are reasons behind it. But we got to dig into that and not just look at total numbers. That's the point I wanted to make there. It's about the numbers. Petty crime, stealing crime, not always violence. And that's the other part too. Is what crime leads to an escalating crime. So Malcolm
quality of life crimes. That's why people always talk about quality of life crimes, because quality of life crimes really they kind of spiral into the violent crimes, right? Because like from data, right? You look at places where there are lots of quality of life crimes, and what you'll see is that the violence level in those places is probably a lot higher.
So here's the thing, right? Malcolm Gladwell just dropped a new book. I think it came out Tuesday. I haven't read it. Haven't even bought it yet. And it's kind of like, him revisiting the tipping point, in which he used a lot of data and told these stories. And one of the things was about the crime in New York City and how Rudy Giuliani used like cleaning up like certain things to correct crime. And now he's admitting in the new book, allegedly, from what I saw, is that he was wrong, right? And the reason he was wrong is because there are so many other variables that he didn't look at. And a lot of times what people do is when they want to tell a story, they'll focus on one thing. So, all right, back up a little bit. There's a difference between correlation and causation.
Causation, right? Yep.
Yeah, so just because like things are correlated didn't mean that one thing caused the other. I mean, the great example of this, and this is one of the classes I teach in real estate modeling. I have a slide in that class, and it talks about like if you look at the data, right? Every time Nicolas Cage drops a new movie, more people drown in the United States of America, right? So the reason why, and it's statistically, people will think that it's statistically significant when they look at the sheer number. I can't explain it, but what I can tell you is, someone who's just looking at data says, man, like, well, this is crazy. Every time Nicolas Cage drops this, Nicolas Cage got to stop dropping movies, but it's not causing people to drown. It's just one of those things. But the data says that this is what it is, right? There's a correlation there, but there's no causation. And the point that Gladwell was making in the first book, he was trying to say that this was the causation instead of just recognizing that it's a correlation. There are a lot of things that go into play when you talk about crime. And I remember reading that, and then I read the what's the other one, Freakonomics, and they had a whole different perspective. They were talking about it was abortion. I'm like, so you're saying abortion, you're saying that it's cleaning up graffiti. So it's like, but they all backed it up with data, right? And that's why you have to really get into your bag and find professionals that do that for a living that can give you all the different variables that go into that. Anyway, I went off on
both of those books were interesting. I've read both of those books, and both of those books are interesting.
No, they are, and I would say that those books specifically probably made like I don't want to say make data cool, but it kind of made it like palatable in a way. When you read a lot of books about like data and numbers, they're snooze fest. they made it palatable through the way they told stories and the narrative, right? So
Yep.
Malcolm Gladwell is a master at like taking one thing and just like pontificating about it and extrapolating things from it that you can argue shouldn't be extrapolated, but he still is good at doing it because of the way he writes. Rich says, when I tell people that Chicago is third, they think I'm making it up. Chicago is a huge city. Huge. Pascal's in the building. What's up, Pascal? Erica says, my people still there and have rentals there. Chicago in the summer is amazing. Absolutely it is.
I got a
polling
story
and research is
Chicago.
money.
So the
government contract.
The very first time I went to Chicago was in 2000. I was on a work trip with my girlfriend at the time, and we was in Chicago. And I was painting murals across the country. I was helping doing beautification projects across the country. I was helping I was doing inner city projects where I was like putting plants and painting walls and beautifying inner city spaces. And we was doing it across the country. And me and my girlfriend at the time went to Chicago in 2000, and it was the same week the Sixers was in the finals. So it was June of 2001, I think. Was that? I think whatever year the Sixers was in the finals that summer, because that week I missed the first game of the finals doing the project. And what I will tell you is I went in the hottest week that Chicago had ever had to that point. So that was crazy. So it was 108 degrees and my girlfriend fell out, and I spent 2 days of the 6 days I was supposed to be there on that project in the hospital with my girlfriend at the time. I didn't even get to see Chicago or experience it the way I wanted to because it was 108 degrees with a heat index of like 125. Like it was dumb.
You got a train up there I got on it. The train goes through like all of Chicago, it goes from the north side to the south side, and you get to like ride it and then like look at the city. So that was interesting. So I got an opinion about this, right? Erica says polling and research is big money and government contracts. I have an unpopular opinion that all wealth
is created by the government.
Yeah, I know a lot of people get pissed.
It's not unpopular. It's smart.
No, people get pissed when I say that.
All wealth is created by the government.
So people don't understand how many of these Fortune 500 companies have government contracts, and that's where a lot of their money comes from. A lot of law firms, they have government contracts, and that's where their money comes from. I was on a call this week with a huge real estate firm, a Fortune 500 real estate firm, and they were contacting me because they were bidding on a government contract in the West, but they were looking for a sub to like do some of the research or what have you. And that's how I got on a call with them. And I'm like, oh, you guys in the government contract, he was breaking down the various government contracts. I was like, that's the thing. Like people don't realize. I have this opinion that this is where a lot of wealth is created. People do anything for a government.
All wealth is created by the government because the laws are created by the government, and the laws govern how you can create wealth. So it's not all wealth is created through government policy.
Yeah.
All wealth is created.
That's why you can't. That's exactly why you can't ignore policy when you just talk about business. You can't. It's impossible to do so. They're symbiotic. I feel this is the best time to teach folks about crypto, stock market, and financial market. While it's not popular or folks realize they must educate and move forward. I agree. I totally agree with this. Like it's a good time. I think any time is a good time, but I understand your point. Like there was a wave that happened where everybody was doing this thing, and now that wave isn't there. Now everybody's now in their relationship bag. I see some folks that had big platforms like trying to make that switch into relationships. And even some of the smaller creators, I see them doing that. Like, but this is a time where you kind of like double down and get people to understand, why all this is connected, specifically leading into an election. You know what I mean? So Rich says, if you haven't picked up the book, Once a Cop, that's one of them books that's been on my list. I gotta move it up. I think I'm gonna move it up my list just because Rich is my guy and I respect him. But I have like this long list of books, and there's certain books I was going through the other day that have been on my like list to read for like 5-10 years now. But every time something new comes up, because books are always dropping. I just got the new Ta-Nehisi Coates book. I also just got, what else I just get, Corey? Tell you what books I'm begging with right now.
Man, I ain't been reading nothing but IEPs, dog. So I ain't had a chance to pick up a book in like 6 weeks, man. I ain't been reading nothing but, So for those of y'all who don't know, I work with children with special needs, and so each one of those children with special needs come with an individualized education program that breaks down what special needs they have and what special services they supposed to get when they in school. And so for the last 6 weeks, basically all I've been doing is reading those and servicing kids with
Hey, listen, man, you doing what you pouring into the baby. You're doing what you're supposed to. So new books I got The Kill Artist by Daniel Silva. I had never read a Daniel Silva book before, but a friend of mine told me I would be interested in Daniel Silva because he does like spy stuff. So that's more on the fiction side. I got the Ta-Nehisi Coates joint. And I got a book called Ultra Learning by Scott H. Young. I'm into this phase now. I'm reading books about like ways to maximize your learning. So yeah, that's one of my new obsessions. But I gotta move this book up to my list, Rich, by the way. He said his acting is that bad. All right. I heard a stat that said Walmart parking lot is averaging 1 death per week. I don't know if that's true, but that's one of them stats you hear and be like, what? And then you be like, Walmart is kind of wild.
Yeah, you talk about millions of people every day. One that don't sound so crazy.
Yo, Core, I was riding through Aramingo the other day, right?
Oh man,
riding down Aramingo Avenue in Philadelphia. But here's what's interesting though. So there's a shopping center over there, where there's a Lowe's, there's a Walmart, but it occurred to me that Walmart came a couple years ago, probably like a decade at this point, but it's not. It's that's not that long in the grand scheme of things. But since they've came, how many stores have shut down? They literally pulled up on a block and shut down stores that was there for 20, 30 years. And it's amazing to me, like in their parking lot stays like completely packed. And and I used to read about this, right? About how this would happen in the Midwest, but I wasn't from there, so I didn't have that perspective. And Walmart really wasn't in the city that much, right? So there would be Walmarts in the suburbs of Philadelphia, but this one is in the city. But they pulled up shop, put their prices out, and they smacked a lot of folks out of business. I'm pretty sure Lowe's probably lost money too, but that Save Lot over there is gone. It was another market over there that's gone. A couple other like small businesses, food joints, they just gone. And Walmart is thriving. I'm like, Wally's World be pulling up, and it's like they just like, yo, compete with us, and you really can't at that scale. But it's crazy to see. It's my first time physically seeing it.
Walmart. I seen that with I seen that with two things. I seen that with Walmart's, and I seen that with the shopping joint, the green, the fresh grocer joint, not fresh grocer. What's the joint with the where everybody go and get their stuff and everything's supposed to be fresh when you go in there, whatever. It's a shopping joint. And
Whole Foods?
Whole Foods.
Okay. When I say Whole Foods, I know a neighborhood changing. That's what I know. When I see a Whole Food or Trader Joe's, I'm like, all right, this neighborhood is different.
You know what's about to pop off when you see
because first of all, the price point there is a little bit different than like, say a ShopRite or a Pathmark. They ain't even got Pathmarks no more. And I was gonna say Acme, but Acme over here is high as hell. So Acme might cost more than Whole Foods. But Walmart, like I've read about this because I used to read about like how many small businesses hated Walmart in like Alabama and places in the Midwest and down south because they would put up shop and all the small businesses are like, yo, you gotta get down and lay down. But so Walmart is interesting. What's up, Anthony? How are you, by the way? Michelle says, Nick out here drowning folks. Yeah, folks play a game with stats. They talk fast and throw things out there that sound accurate. That's just true. GC, what's really good? How are you? So Michelle says, Erica did a great video on polling and research and how much money is in there. I didn't see that. I got to go to her channel and check that out. Like the algorithms don't be sending me all Erica's videos anymore. I have no idea why. I used to get all her videos. Corey, didn't know you were an artist. Very cool.
I'm not an artist. I beautification projects, but you don't necessarily have to do that. For me, I just prime the walls and I put the plants up and I supervise a lot. I can't draw. I can't do none of that kind of stuff. I mean, I can, but nobody's gonna pay for what I could do. Like I can draw, but I can't.
Right. So
Can't draw.
The question is, was that court mandated? Was that court mandated, or was that something you was just doing for, you know?
No, man, I always been into this, man. Like I always been into the giving back life, man, because I took so much from so many neighborhoods. I had to give back, or else I wouldn't. I feel like, you know, the yin and yang, man. Like I feel like I've taken so much and I've given so much. So I don't think nobody owe me nothing, and I don't think the world owe me nothing, and I don't owe nobody a damn thing. So you know what I mean? That's really how I live. You know what I mean?
Ray Gun says, great quick breakdown of causation and correlation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, good brother. Michelle says, I got a stack of IEPs I need to read too. Bro, I forgot you went back to the classroom, or you went to the classroom, Michelle, man. How's that going?
I can tell you how to read the IEPs real quick. Go to the goals section and look at what you got to do. That's really all you got to do with those IEP. Go to the goals section. Look at what the goals are for whatever child you're reading the IEP for, and then service the goals. All the rest of that stuff is people talking trash.
So James is saying, man, don't be talking about my shitcoin today just because everyone holding Bitcoin. Listen, man. Listen, one day all shitcoins go to zero, man. It is what it is, man. You know, I was watching one of our older videos today because just I go back and watch our content. It was a Stack Sats video. And I was talking about shitcoins. And I was like, listen, when you make the analogy of real estate and Bitcoin, right? I look at Bitcoin like owning a piece of Manhattan. It's not to say that other real estate that exists, you know, doesn't have value. But if you can go back in the day, let's say you can go back to 1901, would you rather your ancestors have been buying the land in Manhattan or the land in Topeka, Kansas? Right? And it's shout out to everybody from Kansas. There's no shots at y'all at all. But that land ain't as valuable as Manhattan, beloved. So yeah, that's what I'll say about shitcoins. Listen, I don't get mad. Everybody gotta do what they gotta do, but you know, I'm buying Manhattan, so that's what it is. Michelle says, what's sad is when Walmart shuts down businesses and then closes their doors. So then they turn the town into a desert. Yeah, that's crazy. I was watching
ugly word
a couple months ago, the Netflix show The Resident, and they had went to a little town. They was traveling. They was going to a town. Matter of fact, it was Malcolm Jamal Warner's car broke down in this town, and they didn't have a hospital nowhere around. And it was like a business decision from some executive that took the hospital out of the area, and you know, maybe go into this whole huge rabbit hole. You always hear about like food deserts, right? And you hear about, but I had never heard of like medical deserts. Like that's a thing too.
Yo, you know, that's one of the reasons why I moved back to Philadelphia, because Philadelphia has one of the best hospital, you know what I mean? What's the names of hospitals in the whole country? You know what I mean? And in the world, really, it has like one of the best hospital systems.
No, it does. So the interesting thing about that, Corey, is like they say a majority of our economy in this city is made up of what they call eds and meds. Like we're a city of you know, big medical facilities,
schools and hospitals.
Yeah, eds and meds, right? So Philadelphia is low key a college town. Most people don't realize that, but it is. When you look at St. Joe's, Drexel, Penn, LaSalle, Temple, and that's not to get into the smaller schools, Holy Family, you know what I mean? Like all the different smaller schools, Chestnut Hill College, the things that are right within the city, in all these institutions. And then you look at the medical facilities, the University of Penn, CHOP is here, Thomas Jefferson University and hospital system. Like Temple has a hospital system. So eds and meds is what make up Philadelphia, which is interesting. But I had never heard of like a medical desert. So I was at a community event at a council person's office, I think not this past Tuesday, it was a week before, end of last week. And I was talking to a lady, she was there from Parks and Rec, right? And she was teaching me something I didn't know. There's like, there's tree deserts in the city.
Yep.
So her job is to get out and literally give away trees, That was
part of what I did when I was doing the beautification project.
Mm-hmm. And she was just breaking it down to me. She was breaking down all the effects of not having trees in the vicinity. And this is something, again, not my expertise. So when I find people who are experts in the fields and they start talking, it's always intriguing to me because like she was so passionate about trees that she kind of inspired me. I know nothing about trees, but she was talking about how, first of all, it led to higher like cancer rates, led to depression when people don't have trees, like all these like negative things that come from not having enough trees around you. And then she showed me a map of like the city. And when you look at the city, it's literally based on income, right? So you see the higher income areas tend to have more trees. The lower income areas have less trees. And she was showing how on one specific day, in this like neighborhood in West Philly, it was like 108 degrees. Like it's what it felt like. The actual temperature may have been in the 90s, but it felt like 108. But on that same day in Chestnut Hill, it felt like 83. And I was like, what? And she was like showing me the study that was done showing that, and it's basically because of the lack of trees. People with resources to live in places that have more trees. But I didn't know that was a thing too, a tree desert. I'm like, damn, we got food deserts, we got medical deserts, we got tree deserts. Yo, we doing crazy out here, man. Yo, this world is not built for poor people, man. Don says Publix. I think I have been on Publix. I think I have. Listen, man. I go to Sam's Club. I gotta keep it a stack with you. I'm a Sam's Club and Target boy. I get 99.2% of my stuff. That's a made up stat, by the way, from Target and Sam's Club. I'm pretty solid waiting for the Secretary of State to get back to me on something I'm cooking up, and keep us posted. Let us know if we can help you in any way, bro. Yeah. I don't know what you're cooking up. Listen, as long as it's legal, I gotta say that now because after reading all this Diddy news, like, you know what I'm saying, like. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's legal and you doing something positive, if we can help, let us know. And I don't know what you cooking up. I don't know if you're cooking up freak offs or nothing like that. And if it is, leave me out of that if that's the case. But if it's positive, bro, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? You know, you try to cook up something to get more sticky, then leave me away from that, man. All right, let's see. So goals section, got it. Thank you. And this is Ms. Shea talking about your advice with the IEP. I actually started a podcast called This Week in Class where I talk about my journey as a new teacher. Yo, send me the link to that, man. I didn't even know. I be out here doing stuff, man. I want to support y'all, but I didn't even know. Like, you know what I'm saying? I want to support that. Michelle, inbox me the link to the pod, yo. I got to talk to you anyway. Inbox me the link to the pod and your phone number. Like I said, I got your number, but I want to call you as soon as I get off here. Bitcoin and full app stock is my only hope. Financial freedom, your only hope, huh? Hey, listen, man, it's not your only hope, man. The fact of the matter is you're doing something, right? Taking action. And that's what it really boils down to. So, hey, Brandy, what's good? What's good? What's up, Brandy? How are you?
I'm back in the city, Brandy.
Hey, let's get it. Evar says, hit the like button. Appreciate the Evar. Definitely hit the like button. Trees literally sustain our existence. Yeah. So I kind of knew that, but I just didn't know. I didn't know all the data and all the things that trees did. So I kind of, we know trees aren't, well, I shouldn't say we, because some people may not even know that. They help our air and help us breathe, but I didn't realize just how much they contributed. I mean, it is what it is, man. So James Sandman said, that's a fact. This world is not built for poor folks. It's sad, but yeah, this is.
I was not having an argument. I was having a conversation.
My bad. I'm laughing at Ant's comment. He said, me and Diddy in the same sentence is insane work. My fault, fam. I ain't trying to push it.
Yeah. We ain't want to cast. We not casting no aspersions.
No. You a good dude. You a good dude. I was just saying I gotta be careful telling anybody like, yo, we're gonna help you because folks be out here doing stuff behind closed doors. As long as it's legal, we got you, bro.
Yeah. So I was saying, me, Jim, we was on a Black Wealth Project show, and we were having an argument, not an argument, but a conversation about who's more hated, women or poor people.
Yeah, I think it was women, poor people, or black people. So that's what it was three things. Who's more hated, women? I'll just ask this question before we get to our giveaway. Who do you think is more hated in our society? Is it black people, women, or poor people? Because I remember the comment was like, well, shit. If you're a black woman and you poor, you get all free. So
yeah,
black women
you get the ugliest and triple whammy. But what I'm saying,
you were the crazy trifecta.
If you had to choose which one of those groups are the most hated, let's narrow it down. Because in the world, it's women. It's hands down women.
You think so? I mean, listen, I don't know the answer to it. I'm just saying.
Listen.
No.
I don't know what women did to this world to be hated the way they are.
No, they are. Even some dudes that claim they love women, they really hate women. Like a
They
lot of
don't
dudes.
really,
Like,
yeah, I'm not getting into the
listen, I
race
can tell from a lot of dudes they hate women. I
bro.
get it, but black people are hated too. But then poor people are also hated. Like
No,
people,
poor people,
people don't want to be around poor people.
yeah, poor people, but I don't know, man. Poor people in
At least if
women.
you're beautiful, at least if you're a beautiful woman, people still want to be around you, even if they don't like you. If you're poor, they don't even want to be around you, yo.
Man, listen.
So I don't know what the answer is. I'm just asking the folks. I want to see what the folks think. Tanita,
Listen,
what's good, Tanita? How are you? Hope everything is good. I hope everything is good. Michelle says, I think about trees sometimes and how old they are. It's really crazy if you think about it. Lots of trees are centuries old. It'd be something if they could talk. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, and I apologize. James said no Aunt Diddy. Like, yeah, I ain't give you that name, bro. But I'm just saying,
no,
make sure it's legal.
not at all.
Not
Not at all. We not even putting you know. That was a mistake on our part, bro. We ain't even say your name in the same sentence.
Yeah, I was just trying to clear it up in case you know what I mean. So Don says poor people. Pascal says black people are the most hated. Torian says working in paper mills changed my mindset on trees. Okay, yeah, I can see that too. Ray Gun says poor people. Lorraine says black women. All right, so poor black men are the most hated. Well, people hate poor people in general. Yes, I guess if you're a poor black man, they hate you too, because they also feel like you're a threat by being a black man. So poor black men are at the bottom of the totem pole too. Poor people, and also says poor people because each race has them and they are all looked down on. Yeah, this is true. All races do have them. Black people are the most hated globally. Yeah, black people are it's crazy, right? Because I'm an American, I live in America, unless I'm in my bag and saying I'm an African in America, if I want to get into that Malcolm bag. But the point I'm making is when you travel the world, right? When you travel the world, you recognize how people of color, and I hate using that term, but I'm using that term intentionally on this time. Like people of color all across the world are hated. I was talking to some of my friends who are of Indian descent, and they were talking about like the colorism in their area and how literally the job you get, the life you live, sometimes will be based on your color. But black people are hated globally, and it's crazy. Like my wife right now is actually she's traveling. She's on her way to Japan. And one of the things I was asking her, I was like, "Yo, you got to tell me when you get there for a couple of days, like what do black people treat it like, right?" And it's interesting because sometimes when you travel for whatever reason, whether it's for business or whether it's for pleasure, or whatever, we have this thing as black folks is anytime I go somewhere, one of the things I look up is how black people are treated there, right? Because that's a thing. That's a thing. Like, before I go to this place, how are folks treated? So Pascal, I said that to say like, hated globally, you are absolutely correct. But so are the other people. People hate poor people everywhere too. People hate women. So K Dickey said, here's how he ranks it. He has women number 1, poor number 2, and black number 3. And by the way, by saying that the women is number 1, is not saying that none of the other things exist because all 3 are hated. We can all agree to that people hate all 3. I just want to see how y'all feel about, where they stand in terms of rankings. Champ says black people. So Reagan says in America, poor people, but in the world, he thinks it's women. So that's a distinction right there too. What do you think about that, Core?
He said in America, poor people.
America is poor people, but when you look across the world, he thinks it's women.
I don't think this at all, man. Like America hates women more than America hates women, yo. They yo. I'm not listen, man. I'm not even going listen, man. I'm a product of a family full of strong women, man. And I watched what my mom, my grandma, and what I mean, like the women in my family go through. Mm-hmm. And I watched the shit they gotta put up with. Mm-hmm. And as a man, you know what I mean? Like even with my wife, like when in the work world, how her expertise isn't given the shine it should be. Like my wife had to get 3 degrees to get paid the same amount as some dude with it. Like me and my wife make nearly the same amount, and she has 3 postgraduate degrees, and I don't have anything.
No, peep this though. My wife is like in her organization that she's at, she's like the COO number 2, and she often talks to me about like specifically, she has a bunch of people that report to her, but specifically how it bothers the white men that are under her in the hierarchy, right? Like, but they have no choice because of where she's her position, but like they don't like it. It's like, and it's obvious, but it's like, that's the thing. Pascal says black people are the most hated. Go travel and see for yourself. So yeah, I think all three are up there. And Lorraine says she don't think poor people are hated. I think they are absolutely. I know they're hated. Yo, poor people hate poor. This country isn't built for poor people, and people hate poor people. I mean, look at how policy is treated and how it's created. It's like it's almost like that. Everybody should just pick themselves up by their bootstrap. You shouldn't be poor, as if a lot of it is not based on systems. But that's for another show, man. Let's get through these comments so we can do our giveaway. I have a group of friends who look at old Targets and Walmarts to turn into data centers. Listen, data centers, like shout to DLR. Go look that ticker up if it's not investment advice. Nothing we say here is investment advice. Educational, informational purposes only. U.S. is the only place that hate on old people. Yeah. So depends, right? So I wouldn't put them in the top 3 though. Some people hate on old people too. They're ages. I respect all my elders because I was taught to, for one, and for two, you learn a lot from people that have the experience. Tanita says the only thing about poor people is they get more benefits from others, so there is empathy there. But black don't matter either way. I guess I understand exactly what you're saying. Like there's certain people that fight for poor people, right? I get that. There are. But what I find is people that even fight for poor people still hate poor people, right? So, but I do understand what you're saying. Corey, your phone cool, bro?
No, man, this shit broke.
Damn, you broke it all together, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to turn back on.
I see. We gotta get you a Cricket phone. You can't be out without a phone. You got 2 phones anyway. You like, Kevin Gates over there.
Yeah, man.
One for the plug and one for the little. Oh, your phone's still working. All right, so Brandy says dark-skinned Indians hate black folks. Crazy, right? Indians have a caste system and we ain't in it. Yeah, their caste system is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Name any of the 6 inhabited continents and black people, aka dark-skinned people, who are not tourists but who actually live in the region are treated the worst. Yeah. You know what the crazy part about it is? Speaking of tying it together, speaking of like correlation, causation, that whole thing, I think a lot of times what happens too is, and this is not by choice, but a lot of times black and poor are highly correlated in a lot of places. I remember being in Australia and meeting with some of the Aboriginal folks there and having conversations with them, and some of them were dirt poor, and the way they were treated, that they got it from both sides, poverty, and they were like the darkest folks, some of the darkest folks I've ever met in person. You all right over there, Corey? You got the mosquitoes messing with you out here, bro?
Yeah. I opened the window and I got one fly in here, and
the mosquitoes going crazy. Like they still going crazy.
It's not even a mosquito; it's a fly. It flew from outside and now it's in my space, and it's like I can hear it buzzing. And so every time I hear it buzz, it's driving me crazy.
I thought Indians had their way over here. I needed one. I thought Indians had their way over here since they're the number 1 in household income. Well, there's a lot to that too. That's a whole other bag to get into, right? And that's why people, in the words of Corey, man, people going people, right? So in all these different cultures, and I can't speak for their culture, but I do have friends who are a part of that culture who tell me, yeah, everybody got issues, bro. That's why I be telling some of our folks, like, yo, it ain't just us. Everybody got issues, bro. It ain't just us,
Yeah.
So Alexa says, Pascal, if you travel to somewhere black, who is hated then? If you travel to somewhere black, who is hated then? So there you go. You said your pal accept colorism. Pascal says yes. All right, so Tanita says black and rich hate it, black and poor hate it, black and educated hate it, black and beautiful, handsome but hate it. This is true. What Kanye say? You still a Libyan in the coop, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got a coop, but you still, it is what it is. I ain't trying to get us demonetized. So because anyway, Name a wealthy black person who isn't hated. These women,
Name a
y'all name.
name a wealthy person that isn't hated.
Yeah, it's like levels to wealth, though, right? So I mean, we all know there's levels to wealth, but there's another level of wealth that I discovered too, right? There's a level of wealth where you get so wealthy, you get put in all conspiracy theories, right? And that's the level that like Bill Gates has reached. Because I don't know when he became the boogeyman, right? So I do understand that he's always been a hated guy. Like I remember the pie got thrown in his face and all that. But he's reached a level now where I hear him a part of every conspiracy, from space conspiracies to race conspiracies to religion conspiracies. That might be the highest level of wealth when you become a conspiracy theorist. That's my new theory, dog. The highest level of wealth.
Where you aren't just part of the Illuminati, you are the Illuminati.
Yeah, you run the Illuminati. That's when you another level.
That's Illuminati,
the highest level of wealth right there, man. Like someone who's you got a couple million, you up there, whatever, but you ain't hit the highest level. The highest level is when they just throw you in conspiracies. I've heard Bill Gates naming conspiracies about food, and again, I don't know what he's doing or what he's not doing. Somehow about the vaccines, he was involved in that. He's been involved in like the housing market. Like I'm like, yo, where does he find time to be involved in all this stuff at? That's the other part.
Population control in Africa.
I forgot about that one. Population control. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man. I've
heard someone draw a correlation, like try to tie him to crime in Chicago. I'm like, dog, y'all just throw him in anything at this point. That's the highest level of wealth, by the way. So by the way, let's get back to this comment. Champ says these women y'all naming are black. Well, that was my comment. My thought was, if you pour a black and a woman, you know. But they listen. That's the other part too, Champ. Part of that is true, but also part of that is not true, because if some of these white women knew how their own counterparts felt about them, they would move different too. They hate them too.
Man, listen. All you need to know about how much men hate women is that white women weren't allowed to vote until 1920.
Yo,
black people got freed in 1865, and white women weren't allowed to vote until 1920. That's all you need to know about how much this country hates women.
Hold up, I'm not sure. Again, I'm thinking.
So think about this.
The Trump white women, the Trump white women, the Hillary one white women.
In a country that had slavery, right? In a country that had slavery, they freed slaves, allowed black men to vote, and white women couldn't vote till 1920. That's all you need to know about how much this country hates white women. It hates women, period. Like, this country hates, like, people say this is the most free. If this is the freest country for women in the world, imagine how much women get hated around the rest of the world.
So I don't know how true it was, but I remember reading that even when it came to the Hillary and Trump joint, like 52% of
52% of white men wouldn't even vote for it.
White women, I'm saying. All right, so I'm looking at the updated statistics. He still won, but it was 47 to 45. They wouldn't even vote for their own kind. Like, white women hate white women. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. Poor people are the least respected in the world. So that's a different way. I like the way Dina said that, right? From a respect standpoint. So respect is a different word, but that's true too. No one respects a poor person. It's almost like the poorer you are, the less value your thoughts and ideas and opinions have, which is kind of effed up. But I see people with a lot of money and their opinion is like put on a pedestal. I'm like, but you don't know whether they've done study, research, or even understand what they're speaking of. It's why like our culture here of like celebrity culture is what it is. Native black people in India are treated worse than called untouchables. Yeah. So listen, Pascal, I'm not disagreeing with you. Black people are treated terribly all across the world. Least respected and hated is totally different. But I like the way she put that, Lorraine. So that may be something that I got to think about. Whether it's hated or least respected. I got to think about that. Dina, thank you for that. I want to think about that because I still think they're hated, but I want to think about the least respected thing. Anyway, the Gates Diddy conspiracy. Yeah, they may have tied him to that too at some point. It says Bill Gates became the boogeyman when he started buying up farmland and giving input to the WHO during the pandemic. Yeah. And now at this point, he's with everything. They put everything on him, man. Like, Ray Gun says, so you telling me Bill Gates isn't the Antichrist? I mean, he might be, but He's reached the highest level of wealth where you just get put in all conspiracies. That's what I'm saying. The hatred towards black people is historic and taught to the world to the point where it seems natural. Oh, Dina's on fire right now.
All right, but what I'm saying to her is, you don't think hatred of women is taught to people around the world?
Yeah. Honestly, I think we're splitting hairs though, right? Because all three are hated. Like I think that's something we all could agree on, right? I mean, I did see what Lorraine said about she don't think poor people are hated, but they're not respect. I get that, but bro's selling GMO corn to African farmers. I'm sure that corn is going to make those folks impotent or something crazy. I bet. See, and here go Ant, and you know, he helping the conspiracy. Yet white women still support white culture no matter how oppressive. And that to me is a valid point. Pascal's also on fire. I think they couldn't even open up a credit card in their name before the 70s.
It was 1975 before. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, you talking about hatred. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, they have access to funding.
They had to have their husband sign off on it. That's a true story.
But that's what I'm saying. Black people got rights before white women. That's what all I'm saying. I'm not saying that in a country where white men ran the country, white women couldn't vote till 1920 and couldn't get a credit card in their name until 1975. Like,
now, my grandmother told me stories about that, and I thought she was lying because I'm like, come on. Man. But yeah, that's true story. Tanita says white women hated Hillary because of emails, Benghazi, and eating babies allegedly with Bill Gates. Poor people don't contribute; they are consumers. That's why.
Oh man, don't.
Corey, I know you want to watch the movie, but the scene with Untouchables was rough, Cass. Yeah, you don't want to watch the movie. Okay, got you. The Cass joint. Wait, Corey left Texas. Boo! Don't do it. Corey is a dual resident now, so he kept his house in Texas.
Yeah, my house still there, and my kids still there, but my wife. But I can't do it. I'm not built for it. Like,
so Pascal says, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying the weather, man. Like I had my misgivings about Texas, but the weather was the thing that put me over the top, man.
All right, so Bill Gates been the boogeyman. When he talked about the next pandemic will be viral years before COVID. Yeah, before COVID. So he's saying Bill Gates been the boogeyman. Yeah, but that's the highest level of wealth because even Bezos got in there at one point. He's a part of conspiracies too. Elon is there too. You know, all of them. They just put him with every conspiracy. My friend been doing government contracts for 7 years. Finally got on a contract for $40 million. He would never touch his. Wow. Listen, government contracts. A lot of bread there. Yo, and it's crazy because I told I don't want to put anything out there because I'm still hoping to get some chicken out of it. But the company reached out to me about being a sub if they get this contract. The contract they were bidding on, they were doing their research and found out that the contract has been out there for years, but it hasn't been bid on, which led me down a rabbit hole of how many contracts are out there that people just don't bid on, but the money is already allocated.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
Somebody need to get like Matthew Lesko. And for those who, I'm aging myself again.
There's people out there. Yo, Kamari had a woman on his show that had a list of the government contracts and was helping people link into them joints.
That's an old. I gotta go back and check that out. But peep this though. I just aged myself with the Matthew Lesko comment. For those who don't remember or know, or maybe
that was the dude who used to wear the Joker suit.
He used to wear a suit with all the question marks on it. He
used
to come on,
the
come on TV. All the free money you can get. And he had a whole book he would sell. It was an infomercial. But someone need to do that with the government contracts. So Erica says, committing the fall, Corey. There you go. Committing the fall. Go back. She wants you to go back to Texas. So Michelle says, we got to figure that contract situation out between photography and narration. I think we can make it happen. Yeah, man. Yo, Michelle, I'm working on a new book too, man. So, I might need your services. I mean, still got to get with you with the old books, but it is what it is. I know 2 black men who do procurement for government contracts. They make $300K a year just filling out forms for older guys.
Easy.
This is the thing that we talked about before, right? We did a podcast before talking about like people are out here making money in all kinds of just like crazy ways that the average person doesn't know. Making $300K to fill out documents is fire. That's fire.
But that's because you know where the information is at. That's just because you know where the information is at.
It's also because listen, for the people that are getting the contracts though, right? They're probably making more than that. If I'm only pay you a certain amount, it's because I'm making a certain amount. Yo, I was like, before I got on here, I was looking at some stuff. I was working on a website, right? So, I mean, I'm being very transparent. Our current website is through ClickFunnels. So I was looking to move away from ClickFunnels, and I'm going to tell you why. Because maybe one of y'all got a solution for me. I was looking right now. We pay so much money for all these various services. I was like, yo, there got to be somebody that does all this. We pay ClickFunnels. We pay like MailChimp. We pay like a company to do text messages to cell phone. Like we have all these various services. I'm like, yo, somebody has to be able to do it all. So I was looking at a couple different, and this is actually going somewhere, the story, y'all. Stay with me for 1 second. So I was looking at different recommendations that folks I know gave me. And I start playing around with the various sites. And I'm like, I'm going on Fiverr. I ain't doing this. Like, I don't even feel like it, right? I want to find somebody that I could pay to do this because I'm wasting my time is more valuable than sitting there building a site where I could be out here trying to really get to a contract and get some money. So it's value in being able to like procure those government contracts and fill that paperwork out because whoever they're doing that for is trying to make more money somewhere else. So they don't want to spend their time doing that. So, I mean, I say all that to say I'm going to end with this. If you could figure out a way to make things easier for people, you can make some money.
You can make a lot of money.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it with that. Lesko is still cutting YouTube videos twice a day in his 80s. Are you serious? I didn't know he was still around. At his 80s, getting to it. They have patience to read and respond in a certain way. That is a superpower. Because I'm not going to lie to you. When I was messing with these websites and it was asking me like upload this here and put this there, like I was getting ready to throw my computer. Yeah, I'm going on Fiverr, man, unless y'all got a solution for me. If y'all do, hit me up, inbox me or something. You got a solution for all-in-one platform to kind of like, run our sites from. Because we have two separate sites. We have a site for our camp, a site for our regular By the Hood. I want to bring everything under one roof. I'm looking for a one-roof solution. So if y'all got an answer for me, holla at me. With that being said, let's do a giveaway. I need y'all help real quick. What should I make the name or the title for the giveaway today, man? We talked about a lot of things. We talked about the hatred of black people, poor people, and women. We talked about the economy and how data can be skewed. We talked about government contracts. So what else? Whoa, here we go. Tanita with a message for Michelle. The PGA is looking for minority photographers for their events. Pascal said, make it hashtag baby oil.
No, we're not doing
that. Yo, Pascal, you out of pocket, B.
Yeah, he way out of pocket, man. Yo, he's wild,
bro. Give me some suggestions for when I'm gonna make this giveaway, and I want to set this giveaway up now, so we can we can give away some Bitcoin. Remember, there is AI for everything. You got it. Let me know what the solution is, Tanita. I know there's AI for everything, but give me the exact site or something like that. Shoot me an inbox if you got one. K Diggy said make a hashtag Aunt B Diddy. I ain't doing that. Jabbar, I literally called your phone probably a half hour before we came on there, man. Where you at, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, where you at? I wanted to ask your opinion about something, you know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is, man. I'll probably call you in about an hour or so because I gotta call Michelle first, but then I'm gonna give you a call. Yeah, K Dig is causation. Lorraine, I like that. Go high level. Someone mentioned high level to me too, Erica. I'm gonna look that up. I've used a lot of different stuff, right? So I've used constant contact. Huh?
Yeah, I was talking to Jay about that.
Yo, y'all out here cutting at each other, K Diddy. And they cutting at you, bro. Like I apologize. It's my fault. I'll take full responsibility, but it was an error, man. Inflation. Ooh, I like that one too. All right, Lorraine gave me two. Then they got stats. Let's go with inflation. Because inflation is affecting everybody, whether they want to admit it or not, whether they know it or not. So let's go with inflation. Inflation is the hashtag. Let me pull this up. So let's go with inflation. Thank you, Lorraine, for that. And again, for those who don't know, we do a Bitcoin giveaway. We give away, about 40,000 sats. Let's see what the rate is right now. hoping. Let me see. So hoping to get a high level agreement, but I will. Okay, let me know. Let's see though. Let's see what the rate is right now. I got a Satoshi to USD calculator because that's what I do now. I count everything in Satoshis. So US dollars right now, we are giving away 40,277 sats. So we're giving away 40,000 right now sats. All right, I see, folks. I'm gonna give y'all a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna do our giveaway. Inflation. Yeah, and if anybody got any sort of like solutions, you can inbox me. At By the Hood or at JW the Blueprint, because I'm just trying. I want to try out a couple things, see what works for us. But we're trying to get more organized as we move into 2025. That sounds crazy, but right now we're in October, so what I'm saying. I'm prepping for 2025, and I want to make sure I'm trying to put all of our stuff under one roof, make it nice, pretty, and we can get the work in with the people, man.
So yes, Erica, we still teach about stocks, but we mostly teach the babies.
Yeah, so we will. I got a call before today, this afternoon, evening as well about a school that wants to do. So lately, Erica, what we've been doing is we've been creating entire curriculums for schools and universities where we'll put together the full curriculum. We'll actually train their teachers, and then they can take it and run with it. So we've done a couple schools that way. And but we will teach the adults as well. Yes, we do teach, but we've been focusing on schools lately. Doing more B2B, I shall say. But our thing is to help anybody, man. So, it is what it is, man. But that definitely tag us. Shout to Diamond Dave. I got to hit Dave back, too. Dave actually sent me an inbox while we was on here, man. Shout to our brother Diamond Dave. And she just put up another point that someone else told me the same thing. Erica says, Corey, Texas Hold'em conference session coming. Texas Hold'em. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man.
Let's get to it, Texas Hold'em.
You want to talk about the government changing somebody's life, man. I was playing Texas Hold'em for a living online, and they wiped the whole joint. And I lost hundreds. I lost thousands of dollars messing with the government.
I lost thousands of dollars messing with the government, too. George Bush did it to me. Pause.
Yeah.
When I had the online casino. I'll tell you the whole thing. It was uptowngambler.com. I had the domain name. I had the casino. And it did not fail. You know what I'm saying? Shout to Sean, who I just saw. Like, I think I saw him in the giveaway. He used to gamble on my site. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Allegedly. And I would make a couple grand every week. So imagine going from a couple grand every week until a politician swipes their pen and then that's just gone from your income stream. Just gone. He just killed it.
Yeah, what about now? $1,000 a week. I was trying to reach out. I was probably $800 to $1,000 a week playing hands online. I would play about. I'm not gonna lie. I would probably play about 800 to 1,000 hands a day, and I wanted the average making $1 per hand per day.
Listen,
not $1. I'm talking about not $1, 1 cent. I would play 800 to 1,000. I mean, not 800 to 1,000, 8,000 to 10,000 hands a day. And I was trying to make $800 to $1,000 a day.
All right, real quick though, Tanita says, "What about nonprofits? We will put together a curriculum for a nonprofit as well. If you have one that you're interested in, or you just want to converse about it, again, shoot me an inbox. We'll talk about that too. But we definitely do that. Hashtag polls. Listen, remember the hashtag inflation put you in the giveaway. Texas Wall Street coming to Dallas. Y'all gotta make. I might do that. When is there any like timeline of when that will happen? I'm outside, man. I'm pissed right now because I'm out. When I get off here tonight, I'm looking for Stevie Wonder tickets. I might have to travel to Detroit to see him, even though he's coming to Philly, but the timing don't work. But I'm going to see Stevie. So for all my folks out there in Detroit, I might be in Detroit, you know what I'm saying, this month because I see Stevie's going. I'm going to go see Stevie. Matter of fact, I might make it a joint where I go to the Motown Museum and go see Stevie live in Detroit. Make it a full Stevie trip. So y'all see me in Detroit this month. I think it's like October 22nd or something like that. But I'm pulling up if I can find these tickets. But I know they're going to smack me over the head for it. But it is what it is. Fall of 2025 or January. Okay, I'll definitely make the trip. I'll definitely make the trip for that. Detroit food is amazing. Stevie is a great show. Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna do our giveaway. But before we do our giveaway, last thing I want to say is, if you win, let us know you're still here. You can drop me your cash tag here. You can inbox me a cash tag. You will get paid ASAP. Also, I do want to say this. If you don't get the payment within like maybe an hour or so, shoot me a message, because last week, the brother that won last week, his cash tag wasn't working. He ended up shooting me a message, and then we got it together, and I still got him his sats, because we want to make sure you get paid tonight. Because once the weekend start, I'm in these streets, like, in the real estate streets, working. So, I'm on construction sites. I'm showing houses. So once the weekend start, you may not get it till Monday. I got to keep it a buck with you. And then Sunday is football. So on football, it's a religious day. So don't even bother me. So
yeah, that's my whole mind your business.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, y'all. So this inflation, let's get to it. Let us know you're still here. Oh, Alexa got in the last minute because I'm getting ready to, get my Vanna White on a Vanna Black. Pause. All right, good luck to everybody. Remember, let us know you're here, and let's see who wins our giveaway this evening. And the winner is...
Every time you switch somebody's name over, like Vanna White to Vanna Black, or Vanna White to some variation of it, I always think about like a hub name, like look at Don. Don back in the
winner space. Our brother V-Don is back in the winner space, so shout out to Don. Also, I got a question the other day. I always forget to bring up a lot of the stuff that we do because we're always doing so much. But someone has sent me a message about our investment club. So if you're interested in our investment club too, me and Corey are members of an all-black investment club called IB Big, which stands for I Buy Black. But and if you want more information, the website is ibbig.net. Or you can hit me up and I'll, get you to, come to one of our meetings and see what we do. But we invest as a group, and we've done so just for a couple of years, and we already have $250,000 in assets, and got $250,000 in assets, and we're growing and growing and growing and growing. So, it is what it is, man. So Don, hold on. First of all, is Don still here? Don's still here. Cause Don, oh, there you go. There you go. All right, I was about to say if Don's gonna be here, we about to roll it again. But Don is here. All right, Don, shoot me your your thing. Everybody saluting Don for the win. But yes, I'm just putting it out there again because I forget to do it at times. If you're interested in being part of a all black investment club, we and Corey are that. Like I'm not the president or running. I am part of the executive team, but all members have voting rights, and we have everything flushed out. And it's growing like crazy. So I'm looking forward to see when we crack a mill, that's going to be an amazing accomplishment, and we're going to have a party, and it's going to be crazy. So, and right now we had about 30, 35 members. So it's just growing like crazy, man. It's growing like crazy. With that being said, though, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Check out Stack Sat to Die Trying, dropping this week. I would say Monday, but stuff been going so crazy. I've been dropping Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I call it the what Biggie say, drop unexpectedly like bird shit. So it's like the bird shit menu is how that's dropping. Like,
you heard
that's the rotation, man. You know what I mean? Oh, Torian says, what's that link? First off, pause. Second of all, it's IB Big. Make sure it's I think it's .net, not .com. IB Big.
Yo. You the crazy, bro.
Yeah,
you sound like Cameron right there, man. To some pause.
IBBig.net. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Check it out there. Get information about it. You know what I'm saying? IBBig.net is a link to our investment club. So if you want information about that, let me know. We have live events in Philadelphia here. We also, our meetings are monthly meetings, and I got one this Sunday. It's the first Sunday of every month we meet. We only meet once a month, first Sunday of every month, and we have sometimes we have events and stuff in the city, but you don't have to be in the city to join because again, our meetings are on Zoom. But it's ibbig.net, and it's fully transparent, which makes it more powerful because you get to see where all your bread is at all times. But it's something dope that we're building and creating, man. That's why I like to spend my time and talk to people that are building and not just complaining about what's happening, but what are you building to do it? And we're building in a number of ways. That's one way. The education of the schools is one way. Our camp is another way. You know what I'm saying? So we're constantly building. Also, I want to shout out Andrea Gardner, man. So in Greater Minds, Philadelphia, because I had a great conversation with her this past week, and they're doing amazing things in the community. And they have something coming up too, and I want to make sure I shout this out before I get out of here, man, because the work that they do is just like crazy.
Peace to the gods of the earth.
Listen, they do work with kids, and they put kids in positions to like they change lives. To make it simple, like, they change lives.
We've done multiple things with Andrea, and she is amazing, yo. She's
so I want to shout her out.
Amazing.
And look up Inspiring Minds Philadelphia if you can, and try to support them. They have a gala coming up, so I'm going to try to be in attendance for that as well. But yeah, man. So that's everything that's going on. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Check out our channel. Anybody got any solutions for my all-in-one thing? I'm looking for it. Shoot me an inbox. Michelle, don't forget to inbox me, bro. I want to give you a call now. So love y'all. See y'all next Friday. Peace.